Hello, and welcome to Anterra's overview of the timed cash flow forecasting module for the construction industry. Whether you use Acumatica, Sage Intacct, Sage 300, or Viewpoint, every construction company has a huge challenge. There is a lot of margin in your work backlog, but you don't have the tools to understand and manage your cash flow over time. Based on the timing of jobs, you may have a sizable gross margin 2 months in the future, but not enough margin to cover overhead next quarter. You need to understand, be able to visualize, and manage your cost and billing timing to understand your cash flow. The components of doing a timed margin forecast include classifying the types of projects you have, S-curves that help automate timing out the billings and costs, the project's timeline, which is to say the project's start and end date, and your forecast cost at complete. We've created a powerful tool set that simplifies management, allowing virtually everything to be automated, while still allowing your users to control every aspect should you choose. The key to cash flow forecasting is that it's horseshoes, not darts. You don't need to do a highly detailed forecast. Your goal is to predict cash surpluses and deficits. Spending a bunch of time deciding if you will bill 8 or 9% of your contract value 6 months from now simply isn't worth it. Project types are important because you can build as many S-curves based on these types as you need. Let's use the example of building schools. You may need multiple project types for schools to account for elementary, middle, and high schools, or schools with multiple stories. In other words, longer duration and more milestones. S-curves are easy to build. As previously mentioned, S-curves are set up for each project type. As you can see here, you're able to decide on an average project duration on which the S-curve is based. Then in this area, you list out the milestones that coincide with what percentage you can bill by that point in the project and what percentage your cost will be at the end of each milestone. When the S-curve is applied to a project, it is adjusted based on the project's duration. Let's say you're building a middle school that will take 400 days. We'll take the time percentages and put billing and cost dollars in the month they occur. Using our 400-day middle school example, 6% of the time is 24 days. Here we can enter that 11% of the contract value can be billed and 6% of the forecasted final cost will apply to the month day 24 falls in. Few companies have visibility into their project schedules because they are maintained in individual project schedule files in tools like Primavera P6. In Anterra, your project manager just needs to maintain the project dates, which they can do using a convenient Gantt chart, allowing them to see that project in context with other projects they are managing, giving your whole company a central schedule of project durations and estimated completion dates. Your project manager can manage their forecast cost at complete in your accounting system, in Procore, or in Anterra. Anterra's industry-leading forecasting hub allows jobs to be managed at various levels of detail, eliminating the need to forecast 35 cost codes for a $10,000 job. Timed forecasting spreads billings and costs over the remaining months of a project. You can override the S-curve numbers with a manual entry if you like. You can view your timed cash flow in dollars or percentages. As you roll over a given project's months, your actual results will differ from your planned S-curve. You can simply spread the difference over the remaining months of the project evenly or proportionately over a selected range of project months. The result of job-timed forecasting is timed forecast margin for your company, which is visible from the cash flow forecasting pivot grid. This will help your finance team tremendously with visibility into margin surpluses and deficits in the future, allowing your company to plan cash flow accordingly. Like all aspects of the Anterra platform, you can of course export your timed margin to Microsoft Excel for further analysis. Let's put it all together into a simple workflow for your company. Project managers update the project dates if required. Update the forecast cost at complete. Spread the difference between last month's actual results and their S-curve over the remaining months of the project. Finally, the finance team can review the gross margin for future months and be aware of months whose margin doesn't cover the overhead and thus can plan cash usage accordingly. Be on the lookout for an upcoming video providing you a comparison of your timed gross margin to your company's budgeted gross margin. The difference between the two numbers is how much work you have to win to make budget in future months. We will offer an upload of your weighted bid pipeline based on probability of winning those bids. We will use this to time out your bid work margin. With this toolset, you will have a windshield view of your business from bid through final margin for the first time. You'll finally be leveraging your data to look forwards instead of backwards. We appreciate your time today. For further information or to schedule a training or product demonstration, please contact us by phone at 832-539-1400 or email info@anterratech.com.